if you're going to offer something for free, you need to have a plan for how it turns into a paid engagement, and that needs to be clear to all involved from the beginning. So, yep, and I love the way that you do it. Somebody asks to meet with you.
Hey everybody, Roland, Frasier, and Ryan Deiss here with another episode of the Business Launch Podcast. Welcome, Ryan. I love that background that you got going there.
I too am enjoying it. I appreciate you letting me stay at your casa. It's been a good week.
I was at a meeting recently and was listening to, it was a mastermind, and for one of our masterminds, and one of the gentlemen was asking me, he said, listen, he said, I've got a person who I've been coaching for the last, for the last several weeks. It's a weekly coaching thing, and I'm helping them out with their marketing. And I have been, doing this for a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm not charging. I'm trying to figure out how do I turn this into either equity in the business or paid or something like that. Excuse me. And I asked him, I said, okay, so basically right now you're meeting with this person, you're doing it once a week, and you're helping them with marketing. Yeah, I'm helping them with marketing. Okay. And you're not being paid for it. No. So, okay. And how long have you been doing this? So about a year. Okay. So you've had 50 some meetings with this person. Yeah. Okay. How much impact has what you've done had on their business? He said, well, none, because, I can't get them to do it. And I said, okay. So basically you've met with them about 50 times over a year. You haven't been paid anything for it, and they haven't taken any of the advice that you've given, but they're thinking about doing it, and you're encouraging them to do it every time. Yeah. And so what do you talk about at the meetings? We talk about, how these things need to be done. So, okay. So you've had 50 meetings with this person over a year about marketing things that they haven't done. And each new meeting is talking about how they haven't done the thing that they should do. Yeah. I said, you need to tell them, I love you and mean it, but I'm not doing you a good service by continuing to meet with you. So this is going to be our last meeting. And if you would like, I would be happy to get together with you and talk about the things that you need to do and hold you accountable for doing them. And to do that, you need to, and then you choose. I told him, I said, you choose, you need to pay me this, or you need to give me part of the company. But no matter what, you need to have skin in the game, because right now we will continue this cycle and neither of us will be happy. I will waste my time, and honestly, you're wasting your time and nothing's coming from it. So this is our last meeting, and this is how we're going to go. And he's like, wow. First off, he said, wow, you're a whole lot more intense in person than you are on video. I was like, this is what you need to do, right? It's so easy, I think, to waste your time and other people's because you were not strong enough to demand that they take action on the things that you're talking about. And to me, it goes to all advice. It goes to, should I still see this person? I don't know. You said they beat you every week and that you hate them and it's the worst relationship you've ever had. Why are you even asking me this? I'm going to give you one-time advice. Should you keep seeing them? No, I shouldn't. Okay, great. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to not see them anymore. Great. Next week. Man, they're so mean to me. Come on. It's like, and I don't mean to belittle Stockholm syndrome and, battered person syndrome and all that kind of stuff, because that's real and different. But certainly this relationship that we were talking about, it's a challenge. And so I'd love to just say, like, when we're thinking about how can we be more effective, and this happens, I get asked that question a lot, and I know you do too, in the context of some of the things that we do are primarily consulting for equity. And we'll have a 2 to 4 hour meeting for a reasonably significant fee, not because we want to make a bunch of money consulting, but because we need people to self-qualify. Excuse me. We need people to self-qualify, and we need them to have skin in the game. I'm going to sneeze again. But very often people are afraid they're afraid to ask, I guess, right? Like he's somebody who is in our consulting for equity program, and he's like talking about this person, and very often it's, well, how do I change a relationship where I haven't charged anything to one where I do? And so I just think it'd be interesting to talk about that a little bit and get your perspective.
Well, I think it's worth pointing out that both the perceived and actual value of that relationship is $0
Yes.
both ways. In fact, it's probably negative because a lot of time was wasted, and so So if you're in the business of providing any kind of service, any kind of advice, you've got to be very, very, very careful about giving it away for free in a manner that isn't strategic, that isn't intentional. Because I do believe, and I know you and I maybe disagree a little bit, on this, but I do believe that there is a place for offering some kind of free advice and free services, especially in the beginning when you're getting started. We just started working with a guy who's got an agency because he reached out and offered to do some free work, did a great job. And so we're like, hired. Never, ever, ever in a million years would have hired this person because I didn't really know who he was, didn't have a great resume, but had done some free work ahead of time. Like, here's some stuff I did for you. If you like it, I can do some more. And if you continue to like it, I would love for you to hire me. But there's a difference. It was clear to all involved from the beginning that I'm willing to do this for free because I want to prove myself to you so that we can eventually have a business relationship together. And I think a lot of people who are in the advice giving space haven't yet figured out how to put up, communicate boundaries effectively enough. And a lot of these relationships kind of just go into this perpetual advice giving. And I think a lot of times, if we're being honest, we do it because it's a way to play work. It's a way to feign activity, but it's low risk. They can't really get that mad at you if it doesn't work because they didn't pay you for it. And so you get to play like you're in business and you get to play like you're doing work, but really you're not. So you can, like, if you're going to offer something for free, you need to have a plan for how it turns into a paid engagement, and that needs to be clear to all involved from the beginning. So, and I love the way that you do it. Somebody asks to meet with you. The next words that come out of your mouth need to be, "Yep, let me tell you how I do that. Yep, let me tell you how that works." And then you communicate a plan of action. You communicate, a prescription of how that's going to work. And that, like, for you, I know it's, "Yep, let me tell you how that works. You pay me $25,000 when we meet for a half a day." That's what you say. Now, not everybody has the track record, the gusto, the hubris. Hubris isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. To pull that off. They just can't yet. Doesn't mean they can't eventually, but maybe they can't yet, or they don't believe they can. That's fine. "Yep, let me tell you how that works. It's $5,000. Yep, let me tell you how that works. You're going to buy me the most expensive coffee at Starbucks because I like for there to be some skin in the game. Yep, let me tell you how that works. I will happily meet with you for free for this much time. But at the end of it, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you want some help implementing the stuff we talked about?" With the hopes that you'll say yes and that we'll get to work together and have a real business relationship. I think as long as you have a plan in place, "Yep, let me tell you how that works," you're fine. If you have no plan, you're going to wind up in this toxic spiral, bad relationship.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Is what I do is really that. I say the way I do that is there is power in those particular words because it sounds like you have a standard business practice, right? And these are our standard terms. That's one of the, that's a negotiating strategy that attorneys have is like, here's our agreement. It's 1 page long and our standard terms are 8 pages long and they have all the real stuff in it, but there are standard terms. Everybody agrees to standard terms. Oh, okay. I can't negotiate that. And they're printed, there's no blanks. It's just, they're there. But I do think that people want certainty. And if there is a program in place, it's when you and I are in the process of doing this for our scale and exit business right now, right? If there is a program in place, then people are more inclined to accept the program as it's presented than if you're like, I don't know, what do you think we should do? Well, let's get together, once a week and see if my marketing improves, and then maybe we can work together. That's not as good as, okay, look, the way I do that is that I'll have a meeting with you and there's no charge for that meeting because it's an investment by me. I'm going to actually, and Jay Abraham says this, which I actually really like, I will buy you an hour of my time to sit with you and do this. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm $5,000 an hour. I'm $300 an hour. I'm $8 an hour, whatever you are comfortable. I'm going to spend the money to buy my hour for you. And then during that time, we're going to go over where you are right now, where you want to be, and we'll talk about a process, not how to do it, but a process that can get you a plan to get from one place to the other that then you can implement. And my goal, and I say this, and this is something that I heard from Kent Clothier, who's a friend of mine.